What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dysfunctionally Functional, and thank you, iHeartRadio, for this platform. My name is Teresa DeLeon, and I am your host and author of the memoirs that are my life, Dysfunctionally Functional. It's the thumbnail on the that you clicked on to get me. So let's jump right in. Thank you all. I know that y'all were wondering if I got kidnapped again. No, I did not. But I do thank you for your concern. I was supposed to have a lot of pre-content uploaded, and I did. But for whatever reason, when I got to the airport, the last 4 episodes were like taking 500 years. I finally got them to go through, and I paid for that fucking Wi-Fi for that. I was in the Sky Lounge, and there were so many people. And anyways, long story short, I uploaded the next 2 episodes this morning, and so today you're getting a 3-fer during a new moon, y'all. The new moon, tonight's the last night of the new moon. This is the time where y'all need to be pushing away all your negatives. This is where you need to be cutting ties and bringing in new energy, right? You don't bring the new energy in right now. Even though the new moon says new, this is getting rid of your old stuff. We bring stuff to us during the full moon, right? So, if you're going to go to the buffet, you don't want the crescent moon, right? Plate, because, I mean, while it might make for a nice display coming from a culinary's perspective, if you're hungry and you're starving and you went to the buffet, you want the big plate, right? So you can fit all the things that you like on that big plate. That's the difference between new moons and full moons. So, there's your astrological lesson for the day. But as you all know, this is a reality show that is actually starting in October. You will be able to tune into my iHeartRadio show on iHeartRadio itself. And you will actually see me when I answer your questions live for my show. So, that's coming in October. But I did sign a contract with my management company to tell my life in reality form. So, what am I doing today? Well, if you've been following my life so far since we switched over to iHeart, you would know that my eldest daughter is not speaking with me right now. And while I have to detach the emotional, mundane human feelings I would feel about the situation, I have to say that after much discussion between my husband and I understand that this is going to be a long battle. And I'm not fighting. I wave my white flag all the time since my father passed away. Been waving the white flag in life in general. But things have taken a little different turn. And so this is my life. So to all the parents, if you're waking up and you can relate, and to all the children that are waking up, if you can relate to either my eldest side of the story or my side of the story from the parental and relatable. I'm the most relatable parent she has dealing with these situations. So it's no, because she's analyzing everything I do. So let me give her a little history lesson real quick, since she likes to peep scene. I'm not about that catty life. Reality. So I'm not allowed to post whenever I'm doing actual work outside of my contractual agreements to this podcast and this show. I have been explaining to y'all that there's going to come a time in the very near future, 13 weeks, I have to drop off of the face of the planet. Even when I come back home from filming the show that I'm going to be filming, even when I come back home, I will not have a social media presence whatsoever until the show's aired, over, and done with, which will be a year later. So, when I leave, I will have episodes for all of you amazing subscribers and listeners to have at your disposal while I am gone. I won't be able to obviously answer all your comments and questions because I just am not going to be doing that. I'm going to be gone for 13 weeks. And then I won't be able to even come back for a full year. So we're going to have 53 episodes coming to you once a week to cover up the whole year. And yes, I know there's 52 weeks in a year for those of you 1994. If you were born 1994 or after, you're probably like, that bitch doesn't know there's 52 weeks in a year. Well, sweetheart, you probably don't know about leap year. Anyways, y'all know I love picking on my youth because I'm just that bitch. So anyways, this past weekend, I was doing, helping out with a music showcase in Dallas. There's a lot of really amazing people that I know in the music industry, in the media industry, in the television industry, anything that you think causes a celebrity to be called a celebrity. Those are my peeps. That's where I dwell, and they're just people like us. They all have problems like we do. They just have more money, which is why they have more problems. So, for those of you trying to strive to be said celebrities, I am not one. I don't want to be one. I like to be that bitch behind the scenes. I thrive in chaos. I really do. But that doesn't mean, parents, that we choose to live in chaos when it comes to our children. So, if you've been following along with this story, as many of you have, because y'all are dying to see how this dynamic is going to play out. That's why we're doing the reality show. Right? Sorry, that's my marijuana cart that I actually don't use it as much. And since I've been home, I haven't really been drinking. I just don't feel the need to. I'm so happy and content with my life, even with this wedge between my daughter and I. I didn't build this wedge. I didn't put it there, and I'm not manning it. I actually did the exact opposite, and I'm having to tell all across the board, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a celebrity psychic, and I've been a psychic for my whole life. I talk about it in my book. Growing up spiritually awkward made me awkward in life because I was completely ostracized. And every time I thought I could trust somebody, I couldn't, because they would come to school during Halloween and they would try to mock me, or they did mock me. And then that carried out, that set the tone for coming back from winter break, and there went the bullying all over again. I was ostracized as a child in school, in grade school, for specifically speaking. And it was because I was different. And my 14-year-old the other day came in here. She's like, Mom, we all believe that you have Asperger's. And I was like, autism. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to say this because I'm going to speak from a clinical perspective. And then this is going to be the segue into where my life is right now and how I'm actively dealing with this situation, because it is starting to bother me, and I'm going to tell y'all why. So, as a parent, we don't get rule books, or y'all say we don't get rule books, we don't get tools. So that first kid always gets fucked, right? The first kid always gets fucked. They're usually not planned. They're usually out of wedlock, usually born to a single young mom. If any of those stereotypes fit you, guess what? One or more of your kids is going to hate you in life. And if you're a mom, it's going to be your daughter. If you're dad, it's going to be your son. One human saying, if you will, that I really like is daddy's girls and mama's boys. Y'all were onto something when y'all came up with that. Because I, as a parent of 2 girls and a boy, and as a friend of people, amazing people who have other kids that are younger or older or whatever the case may be, it is, sorry, y'all know I'm sitting in this rickety chair. I don't know. I keep telling myself I'm going to go get a new one, but I've been successful since I've been sitting in this chair, so it's kind of become that lucky charm. I don't want to change it. Even when I move into the studio and take this show on the road, I will either be standing or when I do sit to interview, I will still have this whack-ass chair. And y'all will actually be able to see it. Maybe I'll throw it up on eBay for charity or something. So, no, children, you are right. This goes out to the kiddos out there. I don't care how young or old you are. This goes out to everybody that's got a parent, which means I'm speaking to everybody. I don't have any parents anymore, so I don't have parents to speak of or to. But most of y'all do. To the eldest children across the world, your parents should have done the best that they fucking could. And this really goes out to the moms and the single dads out there. If you were raised by a parent that was single and had you really young, I don't give a fuck what your beef is with your parent right now. I guarantee your pussy ass needs to get the fuck up, shred your motherfucking pride and entitlement at the fucking door, go find your mother or your single father, get on your motherfucking knees and apologize for your shitty ass, whack ass millennial fucking behavior. And then go tell Siri and the internet to go fuck themselves. Because that's where your bullshit entitlement comes from. And I'm not saying that to be defensive. That's the difference between being defensive and passion. That is a passion. I am dealing with my clients the same issues I'm dealing with in my own life. And I am sharing what I'm going with my clients so that they know that they're not alone. I've only been sleeping maybe 2 hours every night since my daughter broke up with me, right? I don't have to repeat the horrible things she said. They're vile, they're grotesque, and they're her problems. They're not mine. I'm not going to give that shit energy. But what I am going to do is tell you my life is about to change exponentially. I've busted my ass my whole life to get here, and life has done nothing but kick me down. And through the passing of my dad, which is the hardest passing I've ever had, it's the hardest thing I've ever did in life, and I'm still trying to do it. But let me tell you something, what? Kids, not talking to your parents out there. I'm going to give you 2 examples of parents, right? I'm talking to the moms and the single dads today. I'm talking to all the single parents. And I'm targeting y'all because I'm going to tell y'all the different dynamics between y'all's living and my living. So I was raised with both of my parents. You see, all the tragedy they caused me, I wish they would have gave me away. I prayed that CPS would come and take us away. And I had friends in the system that lived really shitty lives. They got the shit beat out of them. None of that was happening to me, but it was happening in front of me, damn it. And now that fucking cunt of a mother I have never fucking protected us from it, and all of her fucking kids are weird. We struggled and continue to struggle in life because she fucking sucked at life, and she had one fucking job to do. If that is a situation with your parent, and you're being truthful with yourself, right? Because my stories have merged with my eldest's memories that she actually believes that she has. My husband and I have tried explaining to her that she is so wrong about what some of the things that she is saying. Yes, she could say that she has a sense of abandonment where it comes to me, because while I was dying and I was taking 29 medications 3 times a day, praying to die every fucking night because I was dying anyway. No, I take that back. I was being murdered So yeah, for the off chance that 2 times out of a month I was able to stand on my feet long enough to come out of my fucking bedroom door and see that my kids were living in fucking filth. If we were gonna bust our ass to pay for you to live in nice places, at least fucking do your chores and keep your shit clean. I was raised by a militant man who really believed he was doing some stuff in the military, and he was that white glove motherfucker. Guess what? My brother is in my home. We talk about the difference between Torres clean and everybody else's. You should want to be fucking clean to begin with. Just saying, kiddos out there. I never abandoned my kids. I threatened to leave all the time, yes. So she blames me, and my kids blame me too. They said that they were scared that I was actually going to leave one day. My fault for thinking I was raising intelligent individuals. Maybe they don't understand sarcasm or suicidal thoughts or frustration. Please believe it, they feel all of these things now that they're older. But not once has any of my 3 children during that time period, during that 10-year time frame, my youngest daughter and my son never got to see me live life for an entire decade of their lives. So basically, I've known my daughter Cordelia now for 14 going on 15 years, and I've known my son Draven now for 17 going on 18 years. The 10 years that I was completely medicated, I still got up and I still drugged them out. We went to do our fucking, marches for elephants and rhinos and banning the ivory trade. I still tried to remain as active as I possibly could. And then I'd come home, and little did y'all know, my kids knew and my family knew, but every single time I came home, I was in the hospital for weeks. I was trying to stay alive because it got to the point where my kids weren't enough to keep me alive. And I've been completely honest with y'all about all of this. But my eldest would have the world believing that every single word that comes out of my mouth is a lie. I gotta tell you, she's confusing me with my birthright, my birth mother. She is confusing me. Actually, it is a consensus in this household that she's acting like my mother. And it may be because my mom and my sister raised her for the first 3 years of her life. That's when children are sponges. Granted, my daughter wouldn't have any memories that go back that far. And I love that. I came in, my husband came in, God came in, he stepped in, he gave me everything I needed, and he blessed me with an amazing family. I will die with their name. And when I go up to heaven to see my mom, her name isn't Ann Bro. Her fucking name is Helen Joyce DeLeon. My mom passed away years ago. She was murdered also. We should own that fucking hospital across the street from my neighborhood. But it wouldn't bring her back. Granted, if she was here, she'd be kicking our asses because she would have done it. Had the roles been reversed and they took my father-in-law's life. Oh, Helen's name would be all over all of these hospitals. My grandmother was murdered due to gross negligence and stereotypes by the medical profession. She was murdered by the hospital right here in my community. That was the day I lost the only mother figure I ever had. And I didn't get to keep her very long. But even she had her flaws. And I don't know if my kids know this or not, but she went through severe depression as I did. There were days where she locked herself in the restroom to hide from her kids so she wouldn't strangle the fuck out of them the way I did. I only ever had to do it once. And it didn't have anything to do with me being a bad parent. It didn't have anything to do with her being a bad parent. If you have to hide and run away from your kids to protect them because you're scared of your actions, then kids, you need to shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, and understand that what we do is to protect you, even if it's from us. And to the dumbass who thinks telling about my life story that I'm going to go to fucking jail, that lets me know that I don't need to kick it on the East Coast, because apparently y'all's fucking water needs to be filtered. Maybe Flint, Michigan's water is going over there to the East Coast. Y'all are so one-sided. Your whole fucking everything. I'm Generation X. Everybody that came after me is so fucking one-sided. It's disgusting. It's so one-sided. Y'all take everything at face fucking value. And parents are outnumbered because y'all hit buttons called block, or you ask Siri. Was Siri living with us? I don't remember a bitch named Siri. Or Google or Alexa. I don't even know people to this day. I don't even know a bitch named Alexa. There was a housewife of Orange County named Alexa, and she was a bitch. Nobody liked her. Everybody knew her husband was fake and cheating on her. But now my kids are using these names. I asked Siri. Alexa told me that, blah, 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 and they send me fucking links to try to school me. Bitch, you got me fucked up. And see, she'll take that phrase right there and say, look, she hasn't changed at all. She calling me a bitch. I call all females bitches. Let's get that clear. When I am a very flamboyant and charismatic, living and loving life lesbian, I call all females bitches, and I'm not saying it in a rude way. I say it the way the African American community calls themselves the N-word. White people call themselves trashy all the time. Hispanics call themselves wetbacks all the time. And I'm saying whatever the fuck I want to say, because it's my show, it's my rules, and the motherfucking house is always gonna win. That's passion. So now, while I've just come off of this amazing high, right? Y'all have known that I want to get Harry Styles for my daughter's wedding. I know that he doesn't do private events because I know somebody who knows him. And now I know somebody who actually does the IVs on his fucking body while he's on tour. I met that person this weekend. I actually stayed in her house. Found my home over there. Not because of Harry fucking Styles or anybody else that she's worked with. I have a whole plethora of celebrities in my phone. Celebrities are just people. My kids hate when I start talking about these people because they're like, oh my God, mom's talking shit again. My kids do think I'm delusional. But you know what? Their negativity towards my hustle is being thrown in their faces right now. So that was the segue into where I am right now. I just came off of this high of being a judge, getting asked to give an opinion about artists that paid to come to do a musical showcase here in Dallas. Well, over there in Dallas. In Dallas, I'm moving to Dallas in a couple of weeks, so that is my home over there. And I'm being asked to work with some of the top A&R and PR people and actual people who sign you up if you go to be famous. Record labels, Warner Brothers, RCA, Interscope, you name it. Shout out to Big Mike Rob. Y'all go check him out on iHeartRadio. He's amazing. He's the only man who really just intrigued me all weekend. And I'm so sad that I didn't get to talk to you more. But I got your number, buddy, and I'm going to be on the lookout. And to, Jeff Bloom and Samantha Bennington and Jimmy Barnes, these are all amazing people that have, when you turn on your Spotify or wherever you're listening to your playlist, these are the people that got the bands that you're listening to where they are. Like the legit people who sign the motherfucking paper. And if they don't want to sign you or their people don't want to sign you, they have the network to get you to a label that will sign you. I went to go be with a friend of mine who happens to be a rock star's wife, but that rock star is not here anymore. And she was promoting her book, and she's an all-around amazing person and amazing friend of mine. We're family. And she introduced me to her lifelong bestie, and that lady was nice enough to take me into her home and be around her children and her family, and I've never felt more at home and accepted in my life, even more so than by my own children. There's a saying that goes around here in the house that the reason that everyone out in Radio Land, or if you watch me live on YouTube, or you're a part of my fandom on any platform, you're a part of my life. I don't like the word fandom. It's an industry term, and I don't care for it. But my kids don't like this part of my life. They don't like the psychic part of my life. They don't like the medicine part of my life. I'm getting to the point where I'm not sure if they like anything I do. And I am a jack of all trades. I could probably, if I had hats for everything that I have mastered in life, I probably have more hats than shoes, and I have 52 pairs of sneakers. Most of which I've custom made myself. I like shoes. I like creating things. So this is why I have so many hats and job titles. I'm actively going to school in August to be a pilot. I want to fly planes. Fuck 18-wheelers. I'm on to the next. You should never want to stop learning. And you should always do your research. That goes to asking questions. Communication. The reason that people have a faulty situation when it comes to communication is because, one, we don't know how to be honest with ourselves and take accountability for our actions in on whatever side of the equal sign your variable lands in this realm of communication. The second part of communication is being able to listen. So when it's the other person's turn, you have to be able to shut up and listen to them, even if you don't agree with them. I have to actually type the notes on my phone. So I'm learning how to communicate with my children here in my home right now, and it is going exceptionally well. That dinner that my sister-in-law bought for me and my daughter, or she bought it for herself and her husband, because he's an amazing chef and she really loves food, and food is amazing. And so she's really sick right now with her knee and stuff, so she could not go, and she spent a shitload of money at McCormick and Schmidt's, and it was going to be this, multi-course meal, sit-down dinner. It's a private event, VIP. I was fucking ecstatic to go. I love food, and I just came from 4 days in Dallas of eating nothing but sashimi and sushi. I'm dealing with California music execs. They love their fucking sushi. I came home with nothing. I had this under the sea, was living in my little gastric belly I had little fishies floating around in what intestines I have left. It was funny. And then I came home and my daughter wanted to make fucking sushi. I was like, yo, no, I don't want that. I am done with the fish. But I'm actively learning to take notes when my younger daughter speaks. Since I came, when we started working on communication with the family that lives here, my husband, myself, our daughter, our son, our oldest daughter lives in the Air Force over there in Virginia. So she's not a part of this household per se. She doesn't physically live here. So the people that I talk to on a daily basis are my husband, my kids here in the home, my brother, and our animals. They get to see the change in me. This is not a ball waiting to drop. They've done things to test me. And yeah, I can get fucking vile. I can get vicious. And I can growl louder than Chester Bennington. Love you, boy. I know he's resting in peace. He's probably giving God hell with those screams. Oh man, he had pain. But from his pain, that's where his demon voice came out. And we attach to that. Those of us who suffer with mental illness. That hits us. Right now, I cannot stop. For the past year and a half, I have not been able to stop listening to Machine Gun Kelly radio on repeat. And then I took it off of Pandora and I just downloaded all of his albums on my Apple Music. I listened to all of his songs on shuffle for a year and a half. I have felt this dude's pain. We come from very similar upbringings. Very similar. Too similar. I want to share the stage with him one day. And I want to write a song with him that collaborates. I want our worlds to collide so that we can start saving more lives. His music saved my fucking life. I was in a really dark place the first time my eldest came to me. I told you all the story. That night I had to park. I was on the truck, I was in the middle of the mountains, on asphalt, in the middle of the pitch black night, no lights, I couldn't see, and of course it was storming its ass off. I was in Northeast Texas on a country road, and she's telling me all this crazy shit, and I'm like, yo, I try to stop them when they're making points that are invalid. Excuse me. They don't like that. They say I'm interrupting them and I'm trying to take the narrative. Okay. I've been taking mental notes of the negatives that they tell me about myself because I want to know if I'm fucking up life still. Because since my dad passed away, I've been on this journey to fix things. Starting with myself. So I came to the airwaves and y'all started connecting with me. I didn't think anybody would ever hear me. I started on my CB radio. There was a lot of truckers out there, men and women. They were going through the same thing. When you're a truck driver, you're never fucking home. You provide the best lifestyle for your family you can because we make a lot of fucking money. We make a lot of money doing something that is so hard on so many levels. It's mental. It's a complete mental game. Truck driving is completely fucking mental. And it starts with being away from your family. 3 days in, you're broke down. You're mentally broke down. You have to prepare yourself. And then whenever you come home, whether it's just for your 42-hour break or whatever, or your 32-hour break or whatever the case may be, most truck drivers only come home for like 2 or 3 days. A month. We only get 1 day off allotted to us for every 7 days that we work. If you're a smart truck driver, you accumulate those days so you can have longer vacations. For me, it was quality and quantity. So I would drive for months straight without ever taking a day off so that I could cherish the moments that I was creating in the form of these magical vacations to not only reunite my family, because half of my heart is on the other side of the world, on the other side of the country right now, And while I was learning how to truck drive, she was on the other side of the world. Truck driving in a time of war, your 20-year-olds getting shipped, or your 21-year-olds getting shipped off to Qatar. I don't think she'll ever know what just that did to me as a mom. My mentor had to pull over so that I pulled over so my mentor could take over my shift so she could give us the message. She needed to FaceTime all of us at one time. Y'all remember the story, but I'm going to remind her. I was in my bunk, and I could barely hear because trucks are very loud. Even though we close all the curtains and turn all the speakers off in the back, the fucking tractor's loud. And then we drove a reefer trailer, so I had that motor going on behind my bunk. I could barely hear her, even with the headphones in. And at the time, she was going to the, what's it called? IME or UME, whatever. The Aramit's UAI, I think it's called. I don't know. I'm not Middle Eastern. But anyway, that's where she was going. And I thought she was joking with us because she was just randomly saying these initials. I'm not Middle Eastern, so I don't give a fuck about what's going on over there. No offense. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to visit Egypt one day when y'all get your shit together. When we got off the FaceTime, instantly I called my husband. I said, what the fuck was she saying? I was hysterical. She would say I was doing it for me. I don't do a fucking thing for me, man. Not one. I don't have a selfish fucking bone in my body. People would say my behavior since my dad passed is selfish. People would say my drug-using days back in the day was selfish. No, I'm not an addict. I was doing drugs on purpose. And after 2 years of using cocaine, and I smoked a little marijuana. Marijuana is not my drug of choice. It never has been. Cocaine mellows me out because I have ADHD and OCD and severe anxiety. Cocaine mellows me the fuck out. It doesn't have the same effect it has on y'all. Crystal mellows me the fuck out. No, I do not smoke meth. Never have. I deal with the real ice. And I ate it. I never snorted meth in my life. And just like the YouTube guy said, no, I do not freebase cocaine. I fucking love that thing. That shit is funny. Me and my brother laugh about that almost every day. Why is any of this important? Where am I going with this? 2 nights ago, my husband sat down in this very chair that I sit in, this squeaky little thing right here that's making all this noise. People ask me all the time, are you fucking while you're doing the podcast? Are you farting while you're doing the podcast? No, I'm sitting in my lucky chair. And it's beat the fuck down. Parents, children, listen up. To the eldest children out there, I would love to be able to say that I personally was sorry for having my child under the circumstances that I did, but I will never say that. I will never apologize for not having a mansion to take my kid home to, for not being able to throw money at her to buy her love. I will never apologize for getting in her shit in her business and making her uncomfortable. I will never apologize for getting into anything that I did to save her life and to keep her out of the system. I will never apologize for selling drugs and creating the biggest hot check scandal America had ever seen and had wanted posters all over the state. There was a manhunt for me. I was on the run. My cousin came and picked me and my newborn up, and we were in hiding, going from place to place in Louisiana because I didn't care about going to jail. I did not care about going to jail. I cared that my kid didn't wind up in the system. Yeah, I went to jail. When she was 1, she doesn't fucking remember. Actually, she was 3 months old. She does not remember I got out for her 1.5 birthday. I didn't have an oven to cook her cake on her 2-year birthday. But I was there. The oven was broke. We lived in the ghetto and rats were infesting our stoves and our ovens. And yeah, I was living with her precious fucking Mima and my sister. I just got out of jail. I didn't have a job and I needed to re-up. You need money to buy drugs. So at this point, I was going even dangerously. I had to get a front from one of the most dangerous men that I've ever met in my life. Because my mom, all she could do, because I put her in prison, or tried to put her in prison, my dad bailed her out. She got solicitation to capital murder. She got 3 years deferred adjudication. She was off in 1.5 years with a slap on the wrist, no community service, no nothing. I break into my uncle's house to get 2 checks. That's all I ever personally took from my uncle's house. For those of you who have read the book and wanted to know what I took my baby equipment that he bought for me and 2 checks. The baby equipment was mine. I don't believe in that Indian giving shit. I could sit here and tell you all the things that I did to raise that child. At 3 years old, I met the most amazing man that's ever walked this fucking planet in my world. His name is Paul DeLeon. He's my best friend. He's my soulmate. He's my partner in life. And as I've told y'all plenty times before, I wish that I fucking knew how to love him the way that he loves me. It pains me to say that. That's love. I feel that pain because that's love. I used to not be able to feel that. I used to not have any emotion when I said that my husband deserved better. I didn't, but I do now. And all I want for him and my kids is the best. I may not have been able to show anyone, while they all take it personal. I have never been able to show anyone love since Clay McKinney. And yeah, I'm saying his name. I don't give a fuck. This is my show. It's my life and it's my story and it's how it affected me. So don't come at me with your stupid legal shit. I'll give you a bag of dicks and you can take them home and eat them, play with them, stuff them up your ass. I don't give a fuck. You're not a blip on my radar anymore, so stop passing messages through kids. I don't give a fuck. And I'll call you out on your bullshit because Lord knows, everyone else in the world has an opinion about the way I lived my life or the way I wrote my book or the way they feel that I told my story. You know what the percentage of those people are? 0.2. You could drink more alcohol and still drive and be legal than the percentage of the accuracy of the stories and the shit that gets thrown back in my face. My daughters have been trying to pimp out my husband since Christmas, starting with his new swag. I was totally on board with that, of course. I want him to have a better life. That's what we're working for. But we also have an agreement that whoever our spouses are, they're going to have to understand that we are never going to leave each other's lives. We can't imagine not speaking to each other for hours a day. But I don't know how not to be gay. I don't. And you know what? It makes me fucking happy to be me. So let me be me. And in that same breath, I will ask you to understand that I am broken, but understand that you're broken too. That's where the breakage in the communication falls. Parents, one, are outnumbered by the internet. But you're not going to the internet to look for answers. You start labeling your children as depressed, they're possessed, they're drugging, they got to be doing drugs, they got to be hanging out with the wrong people. You start looking for what's wrong with your kid instead of sitting down and having a conversation, and maybe they'll tell you what's wrong with you. Kids react to our actions, not to our words. My kids, though, growing up, acted based on what I would say. When they told me that they were so scared that I was going to leave and never come back, I physically laughed, and that's when I got shit on because I was raining on their actual feelings. Did I actually threaten to leave all the time? Yes. But I wanted to leave life. We were living in my father-in-law's house. He was paying our rent because our son was mentally in a hospital that our insurance doesn't pay for. The union in Texas does not pay for mental health. And now, because the younger members of the union don't care to fucking vote, now all of the old fogies at the pipe fitters union here decided that since they all have fucking dentures, that they don't cover dental anymore either. It's too expensive. So now all your kids' teeth are gonna fucking fall out. Did it stop us from taking our kids to the dentist? No. And that's not my husband's doing, that's my doing. I'm always going to be the bad cop. And I'm okay with that because you can't have everything unicorns and rainbows all the time. I don't know how to not be me, but I do know how to understand communication. Why? Because when my kids came to me and told me what they told me, I was like, yo, this is a problem. How do I fix it? How? So my kids hate that I'm fucking psychic and do all this other fun stuff. Awesome. I don't give a fuck. This is what God told me to do. If I am to believe He created me in His own image, here's His image. And I help people every day. And I also have to explain to those people that I don't have all the answers. That's not how it works. Right now, my eldest daughter literally told me that I am not her mother. I've never even said that shit to my mom. And I can't stand her. I would love for somebody to call. And this is truth. I think I'll be a happier person when I get that phone call or the text or whatever it is. Even if it's years later, I don't care. When she's finally gone and she's not able to kill anybody anymore. My whole life I've had to do certain things with my hair, and people always ask me, oh, your hair's so cute. Why do you do it like that? It's different. How'd you get there? Because I have a massive scar on the top of my head where my mom threw me out a 2-story window and broke a Bartle and James black cherry wine cooler bottle over my fucking head. My mom's tried to kill me numerous times in my life, literally. My oldest daughter can't say any of that shit. I believe, as I study the brain extensively, and have been since I've been able to learn how to read. Not to mention I had my own neurological issues. I have a tumor on my pituitary gland as I sit here and talk to you. That's on your brain, by the way, and it's inoperable. So thank God it's in, just sitting there, just a little mass, and it's chilling. Maybe that's what makes me special. I don't know. That's what I tell myself. 2 days ago, my husband sat in this chair, and I saw a look in him, and it wasn't just because I just got done doing a reading and I was still like in a spiritual sense. I turned that off really quick, and I sat down and I said, "Yo, what's going on?" He said, "I know." I show him the contracts. My son has to do all these sizzle reels with me. Like, my life is about to exponentially change. But when my life changes, our lives change. And my kids are like, I don't want to be a part of that world. And while I do respect it, they're going to have to understand that this is what I signed up for. And they actually signed up for it in the beginning as well. But now, because they've realized that I am going to be as open and I'm going to continue to ride this wave, I am going to break through the communication barrier between parents and children through my research and through the team of doctors and hypnotherapists and everybody that I consult with about what I'm going through. And finally be able to give you a tool book. Parents are always asking for manuals. I'm actually actively working on getting you one. I have managed the whole thing. I have managed to understand communication on a third, fourth, and fifth dimension level. But the problem is, I think at a heightened level. So my communication barrier has been pointed out to me as my problem was, and it still is, it's a work in progress. My kids here will tell you I have to stop myself. I stop myself and rephrase all the time now. It's not because I don't know what I'm saying, it's because I'm actively trying to change my delivery to match my intentions. Parents, you need to work on that. But children, you have to work on it too. Because guess what? Communication goes both ways. So when my husband sat here in this chair 2 days ago, I saw a different look in his face. The whole demeanor and the whole energy of my room changed. Instantly, I knew it was my daughter. I already knew. When my daughter left home to go to the Air Force, she did it to spite me. It's fine. Whatever. She's grown. Well, she's not grown. She was 19. She's 24 and she's still not grown. She got a lot of growing up to do. And that's good. At least she's doing it now and not in the 40s like me. I can't undo 42 years overnight. But I am kicking my depression's ass. And I am kicking ass at life and trying to do it better and right. I paused my show that I have to use for research for the show that I'm going on. I'm sitting there, I got my notes out, I'm filling out their questionnaire and all this other stuff, finding out the dates. I got to go to Los Angeles to film the intro to the cast intro, whatever, for the show. I have all these different things coming up. Everything that I've worked for, everything that I've manifested is here. And all I want to do is get on a fucking plane and fly to Virginia. And I can't. I can't even get my daughter on the phone. The first time she went to Virginia, y'all remember the story. She called me. Something happened to her. I was sick as a dog. I was actually back on chemo at that time. In a pill form. I didn't want to do radiation and all that stuff. I used hyperbaric chambers, oxygen 3, ultraviolet rays. I used a whole bunch of Switzerland medicine to heal the cancer the first time. It did not take away the tumors. The tumors are still in my body. But my lifestyle had to change then. And to this day, until the day I die, people call me bougie, but I cannot eat certain foods. I only put 5 ingredients or less, or you're not getting a purchase from me where hygiene, healthcare, skincare, vitamins, none of that. Yes, it costs a lot of money to keep me alive and out of the hospital, but that's what I do to stay alive for my kids, because I have just woke up as a mother 4.5 years ago. Everything that I've busted my ass to do. My husband has his own hustle. He has his own aspirations and dreams for our family. And guess what? I have the same ones. He has different specific jobs that he wants to do. And I have specific jobs that I want to do. But ultimately the goal is to get to the Taj Mahal. So our kids never want or need for anything in life. And we're this fucking close. We can see the finish line. We can taste it. And right as I'm at the last leg of the race, just came from a wedding a month ago where my daughter did not apologize for the things she said to me and hung up on me while we were all here having her on FaceTime trying to have a family discussion. But you know what? I did. And I didn't need to. Because if she wouldn't have hung up, she would have saw the point to what I was trying to say. What can I say? She's my daughter. She hung up the phone. We sat here, and yes, my youngest daughter and I had to take a couple of days away from each other. But my point was made. I apologized to the person that I needed to apologize to on that day. There was a couple of weeks that went by before the wedding, after this incident. At the wedding, I saw my daughter, my eldest, in the physical form. But when I looked into her eyes, I didn't see my daughter at all. I saw somebody who was past oppression and depression, and I really feel that she's on the stage to possession. It's happened to her multiple times in her life because she plays with fire and ultimately gets burned. And guess what? Every time she gets burned, whether she's speaking to me or not, I will always go to her because she's my daughter. And she will have you believe that I'm fake and I'm doing it for publicity, I'm doing it for whatever. So I'm going to beat her at her own game. I am going to the universe with this one. I'm going to pull a Mahatma Gandhi I started last night. Am I doing this to prove a point? Nope. I'm doing it because if Jesus could fast for 40 days and 40 nights and gain insight and learn more about what his mission was and learn how to fully be broke down and rebuilt, if that's how I have to, if that's what I need to do to learn my eldest daughter's language, that's what I'm going to do. So as of yesterday, at 6:47 p.m. Central Standard Time, I took a bite of the most amazing burger I've ever eaten in my life that my 14-year-old made. She's going to be an amazing chef. She's going to be the female Anthony Bourdain, and she's going to change and shake up the whole culinary world. And I'm going to be here to watch every bit of it. She wants to do it on her own. So that fancy dinner, while I wanted to go, and it broke my heart not to go. I'm a big foodie. When it comes to the wines and the pairings and all of that, I am a sommelier, by the way. I've been going to these kind of events since I got into the business. But I'm making big strides in learning how to mend the relationship and the bad that I've done with said to my youngest daughter, and her closeness with her sister is amazing. But I have to tread water when dealing with one because I'm not able to deal with the other. She is not allowing me that access. And I don't try to find her. I don't. I have multiple social media accounts. I could go and stalk her from any other one. I have 18 of them. It's not worth it to me. Because I am healed. And I have apologized for everything that she's thrown in my face. And when I tried to give explanations about where I was, because it's very important, children, it is very important that you understand why your parents are saying, doing, and acting the way they are. There's always a strategy behind what we're telling y'all. Y'all make up your own plans without asking us. Y'all don't even ask us anymore. You just come in and you say, hey, I want to go here. When so-and-so coming home? I need a ride. And I'm always in the background. Let's take that statement. Let's ask for permission. Let's be respectful. And then they're like, okay, yeah. Can you take me, blah, 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 blah. And he usually says yes. He's cut back a lot. I've been home for a few months now. And I jump in and he's fucking tired, man. And I'm just like, yo, the kids are not Miss Daisy. They have bicycles. They have friends. Like, we don't mind picking up or dropping off here or there or whatever. But it was like every time I came home, he was just constantly, and he has to take medicine to go to sleep, his muscles and all this other stuff. He has to take it by a certain time or he's never going to wake up in the morning. And so on the days that it's 8 o'clock at night and he's still playing chauffeur, I have to get on to him and let him know, yo, you got to put your foot down. Because then the next day he's struggling at work and it's 120 fucking degrees outside and this dude works in construction. He's an amazing man, he's an amazing father, and he's even more an amazing husband. He's my soulmate. When he started talking to me yesterday, or 2 days ago, sorry. No, it was last night. It was, because I texted a friend of mine. It was last night. When he sat down, I instantly knew who it was about. I said, what is wrong with her? So a little backstory. When she went, I told her, I said, look, I know you want to have a family, but you know my medical history. Your ovary egg, the eggs in your ovaries, they're like going to start scrambling in a couple of years. So you're already predisposed to it. Let's stay on top of it. She never went. And then the one time I did force her to go because she was having issues, the Air Force didn't cover that because she was too young. That's why I almost died at the hands of the medical system. The government is killing people with insurance. I winded up being on bed rest for the majority of 10 years. 70% of those 10 years, I was literally never leaving my bed or my bedroom, ever. Guess what? I ate in my bed. I lived in my bed. I did everything in my bed. Stagnant. At the end of that term, I winded up being 400 fucking pounds and dying. So, to all the kids out there who think that your parents have all the fucking answers and they just really don't know how to give them to you, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. You need to understand where your parents came from, what they've done and what they've sacrificed and what they're still willing to sacrifice, even when you're being a little shithead. It's not because it's our fucking job. It's because we fucking love you and we care. And we will kill, we will murder, we will skin people, we will do whatever it takes to make sure that you are fucking safe until the day that we leave and you put us in the ground. Parents, I highly implore you to seek talk therapy. Talk. My person is not no psychiatrist, she's not a psychologist, she's not a hypnotherapist, she's not even an LPC. She's just a counselor who is really good at communicating. She doesn't even have a license to do what she does. She's not medically licensed. She did not go to school to do what she does. And she's got a big ass office building and clients coming out of her asshole. And I hate her, like I said. 1 to 2 of the 3 times I see her a week, she pisses me off. Until I see what the message is. And then I have that aha moment. So you have all heard the stories. I am a cancer survivor twice. Right now, as I speak to you, I have 6 masses in my body that I have to actively keep up with. And I've had it twice, so obviously I have the genetic disposition to pass on to my kids. But it's only certain cancers on both sides of my family. Why is this important? The segue into the ending of this situation and what I'm dealing with and how I'm dealing with it is very active. Again, I just found out this information last night. I could barely sleep. And right now I have clients today that I gotta read for. I do Zoom psychic readings. I'm not 100%. I'm not. When he started talking, my heart started beating. All right, sorry about that. I had to take a little break. And anyways, what's the build up, right? I've been building this up. I have to give some of y'all backstories. And I have to give children, I'm trying to talk to children and parents at the same time. So y'all can, this is what I deal with in my life. And this is what I help people deal with in their lives. I do get paid to be a spiritual guide, a life coach. People pay me to just go where they live and just stand around them and follow them all day and guide them. They want to know how to do what I do. Well, I have to tell them, you have to work out your shit. And sometimes that means that you need to take breaks from certain people. Sometimes you need to cut out some people. If we're so concerned with trimming the fat on our bodies that we have that cause us huge insecurities, then why are we so adaptable when it comes to keeping people in our lives that are weighing us down and that are insecurities? And really, I compare them to the fat that I had on my body for so many years. To me, it's the same. You got to trim the fat. If you're on an island trying to get off by yourself, guess what? You got to vote people off the fucking island. Trim the fat. One of my favorite all-time shows that my mother-in-law got me addicted to. I've been trimming the fat in my family for the last 5 years. I started 7 years ago with the big one being my mother. I gave her another chance when my father passed away. She fucked it up when she left my brother out homeless and riddled with disease. Hospitals were shut down because of the hurricane. He was displaced by Hurricane Laura. And my mother was only 2 hours away from him and she didn't do a fucking thing. And she left him out there for 6 months. I am not that bitch. If my son would have called and told me he was living in his truck and trying to hide from the cops because Lake Charles it's not a big city. Everybody knew who my brother was. Everybody knew the truck he was driving. So anytime they saw that red Ford, they'd tell him to move, and all he wanted to do was sleep. He didn't have anywhere to go, and she fucking knew. She didn't do nothing. That's why my name is tattooed on his face, you bitch. Going back to my family, you ain't gonna never see me do anything to my family or friends. If I hear that a perfectly good stranger, I've taken the lady in here in Kingwood off the street and brought her into my home until she tried to kidnap my daughter. But that's the person my dad raised me to be. And the mother that I raised myself to be is a fucking beast. I don't know how to be any different. But I'm sorry, if I was going to war as a child in this game called life, and I had to choose between June Cleaver and Morticia Addams, I'm going to go Morticia Addams all the way. Every time. That bitch is going to prepare me for life. The June Cleavers and the Partridge families and the fucking Brady Bunches of the world are fake. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is not real. This is actual fucking life. Why am I getting upset? What is this big buildup? What did he say when he sat down in the chair last night? My greatest fear as a parent has always been passing down these genetic dispositions. Because I am a fucking scientist and I know how it works. I've been telling that bonehead daughter of mine since she turned 15, I need to start taking you to the doctor. And I did. And she didn't want to go. Then, 11/11, we claim that around here. Thank you, Jesus. Then, when she turned 19 and she knew how to do life, I would still throw in there, hey, make sure you get this test, make sure you're doing this blood work. She never fucking went. Then she got deployed, so she couldn't do anything over there. She came back. She was really, really ill. She had a hard time with the food over there. She came home. She was really, really ill. And then when she started eating, she started having these symptoms of like bloating and this and that. Those are the same symptoms I had. And I kept telling her, you need to see this kind of specialist, blah, 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 blah. Now that she was actively trying to do it, she's actively been trying to cure herself and get ahead of these things that I had. And I still struggle with. You have to change your lifestyle to be healthy. That's point blank and simple. But they were giving her a hard time, even with her contract job insurance. They were giving her a hard time, again, because she's so young. I went through this. This is how they were killing me. It took them 6 years of failed tests, hospitalizations, surgeries, and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I paid my lifetime out of pocket. It means lifetime because they don't actually think that you'll actually spend that much money in your life on medical bills. That's why they insured you. If you were collateral damage, you don't get insured. The doctors were doing this to me until I woke up and took my life into my own hands, whether by suicide or God. Karma is real. The title of today's episode is Karma. Karma Chameleon. You know, I work in a spiritual realm. I can do spell work to help people. I can do a lot of shit. But one thing I can't do or undo is karma. I can't if my son goes out and murders somebody and a jury finds him guilty and a judge sends him to jail and he actually did it, I cannot do anything to save my son. I can't. Same thing with karma. I cannot erase the negatives that any of my children have done. I can only erase the negatives that I have done, and that is what I do every day. And you continue to do this every day until we cross over. It's a work in progress all the time. Because of HIPAA and my active licenses in medicine, I cannot tell you what is going on with my child. What I can tell you is she's facing similar, I can't say the same because you have to let me finish. She is facing similar things that I have gone through, that I have similar situations that I have gone through. That's a better way to put it. But what she could possibly be facing is not anything that I've ever been worried about handing down to her. The specific region of her body that is having to be medically examined further, I've never had problems with. I get blamed for abandoning my child. I've never left her a day in my life, except for when I went to jail to take care of her. That happened twice. Once for 13 months. She does not remember. She was a newborn when I came back. She was 18 months old. Once a year and a half later for 4 months when I just said, fuck it. I violated my probation. I got sent to boot camp. That changed my whole life. Boot camp changed my whole life. Until I got sick with my second pregnancy. With each pregnancy, my body became more ill. And, sorry, I'm making noise. It didn't stop me. God created me in His image, just like He created all of you in His image. I don't care what the fuck you believe. God, whoever you believe that to be, created you in His own image. So I have to believe also that He doesn't give me shit that I can't handle. Parents, how many times do we look up at night when we're screaming and praying in the shower and crying, yelling out, are you even fucking listening anymore? I'm talking to y'all. And to the kids who look up and say, I don't believe in God because He wouldn't have gave me these shitty parents. I want you to ask yourself a question. Are your parents really shitty? Or are you just a fucking asshole? Because if you have a roof over your head and your lights have never been cut off and you're fucking walking around with a cell phone and you have shoes and clothes on your back and you have fucking hygiene products to wash your body with and hopefully brush your fucking teeth, and you don't have bruises that you have to hide that were caused by your parents, you may be hurting yourself, but I'm asking you right now to analyze your parent. When you're cussing your parent out in your head and you got an attitude about the way they're saying something, take a good look around at where the fuck you're standing when you say that shit. Because those in glass houses should never fucking throw stones. And you entitled motherfuckers think that y'all live in glass houses. And that we live in this proverbial fucking box. And we don't fucking... I fucking hate when kids tell me, you don't understand. Bitch, please. We fucking understand. And you would have never been in a place to throw those words in our face if you would have listened to us tell you, hey, you may want to slow down. There's a brick wall up ahead and there's no left or right turn. Hey, dumbass, that red thing that I cook on to put this food that I worked on into your body so that you don't fucking die. I told you not to touch it. But guess what? You fucking touched it anyway, and then you blame us for you getting burned. I am about to break through the barriers with this book that I've been working on, trying to teach parents and children how to communicate. There is a process, and I've almost got it completely down. Unfortunately, parents, now I'm talking to the parents. The segue into getting into a conversation with your kid is making them believe. Yes, we're going to manipulate them the way they manipulate us. This is how it works. It's like being on the American race or something. You have to learn to communicate by manipulating. You have to find a sweet spot, and guess what? That sweet spot is power and control. And guess what, parents? Because we're outnumbered, we have to bluff. We do. They do it to us all the time. We got to do it to them. You have to make your children feel like they're in control of the situation and they're controlling the narrative. You have to dumb yourself down, and for me, that is entirely... I thought it was going to be impossible because I do think at a higher level, I have been tested for fucking Asperger's. I don't fucking have that. I am just different. I don't know how else to say that shit. Karma is real. And I can't stop her. What my daughter is about to go through is the universe's way of paying her back. Because she's fucking wrong. Everything she says about me is so wrong. I'm not my mother. I'm nothing fucking like her. Never have been and never will be. I have protected my child since I found out I was fucking pregnant. And I'm going to continue to protect her, whether she fucking likes it or not. But I have to inform her. And since she has me blocked on every fucking thing, John, if anybody, your family is listening to this, give her a timestamp so she can listen to this. I'm never going to say I'm sorry for abandoning her because I never fucking did and I never will. I am never going to apologize for, unfortunately, being dysfunctionally broken. And yes, I was a product of my environment. It's how I knew to survive, and it's how I kept you out of the system. I will never apologize for that. What I have apologized for is the part where you feel that you were abandoned because collectively you all have the same story, and I can interpret and understand me saying that I was going to actually get up and leave somewhere. I can understand how that would cause you some form of abandonment. But on the flip side, I want to also point out, not as an excuse, but as a contrast, from the child's perspective, right? We're talking about parents and children communicating. So I've said my piece, and yes, I have apologized for that. This is not an additional apology by any means. I'm a one-time apologizer. You take it or you don't. I owe you nothing else. I am not going to pay homage to you. I'm not going to play the martyr, and I'm not going to let you carry that fucking role either. Parents, you have to be stern and you have to set boundaries. You do not have to apologize for actions that led you to be the amazing parent that you are. Kids, if you think that your parents' line of parenting sucks and it's abusive, you need to take a look in the mirror and take a look around at your surroundings and understand that maybe you're the fucking entitled fuck. You kids are assholes. All of you. Until you're not. Take your fucking millennial blinders off. Get to know your parents. Parents, get to know your children. I have done so many industries. I have mastered so many genres of careers. My youngest wants to be a famous chef, and she's going to change y'all's lives with her creativity and food, and the way she brings people together is so fucking beautiful. Guess what? I have the resources and the network and the know-how. American and French trained. If I even go to critique her or say, hey, no, she doesn't want it. She wants to apply for scholarship. She wants to do it on her own. I want her to know, just in case it gets rough, especially in the culinary world, it's going to get rough. I want her to know that her and her father and I have all worked to give her the resources that she needs when she falls. Because that's our job as parents. Yes, she gets aggressive and she gets passionate about her food, and we have to calm her down. Because everything turns into an argument. Parents, you're allowed to relate to your child. But you're not allowed to compare your relation to your child. I'm going to say that again. Parents, you are allowed to be able to use your experiences to relate to your child. But in your child's mind, you are not allowed to compare said relation to your child's situation. That is magic at its finest. Yes, we're older, wiser, and we've been through everything and then some that they're going to go through. Why? Because we're older. We have the experience. Because of the internet and because kids think they are entitled and they know everything, I am telling you, you have to make them feel like they are in control. That's the only way to start a conversation with a child. Unfortunately, This is where we are. We have to dumb ourselves down and make them feel like they're in control. Do we ever actually give them control? No. Why? Because we're older, wiser, smarter, and we've been playing this whole manipulation game a lot longer. And we learned how to play it best, children, just so you know, by being manipulated. If we were trapped prisoners in the box of manipulation, guess what? If you were actively trapped in a box or buried alive, your instinct is going to be what? You want to get out of the fucking box. That's what we do as parents. We fight to get out of that box so that you don't get stuck in the same boxes. But no, y'all don't want to hear it from us. So here's how you get to where we're going. I'm having to use my fucking podcast to make this point to this stubborn ass kid of mine. I said earlier in this segment, my biggest fear of being a parent, and I was a healthy ass teenager. I never had any problems. I was super athletic. I was a dancer. I played every sport. Like, I didn't have any medical problems. My pregnancy started causing me to have medical problems. What my husband told me about my daughter yesterday ripped my fucking heart out worse than anything that she's ever told me. And that bitch left me for dead. But what my husband came in here and told me last night proved to me that God's not done with me yet. He's still bending me. Every time I think I'm finally got that twisted knot straight, he says, no, I'm going to show you another lesson. And you're going to go and you're going to teach parents how to talk to their children so parents will stop killing themselves, thinking that the children, all they want is money. So you put life insurances on yourself and then you figure out a way to master the art of a accidental hanging, and you just leave your fucking kids their money and your businesses and you move on. Because kids literally make us feel that their lives are better without us. Children, y'all kill us with your fucking words. Y'all make us feel fucking worthless. And then look at us like, why the fuck are you depressed? What's wrong with you? Like, it's so fucking out of their kids. Let me tell you, I deal with it on a daily basis. My kids don't have time for me. My kids don't have time for me. And if I call them in here to have a conversation, they're like, what? Huh? Look, can we talk about this later? I gotta go here. You don't know. So-and-so's got this going on. So-and-so's got this going on. Or if it's my son, it's like, Mom, I understand and I want to hear what you're saying, but so-and-so and I are over here and we got this raid we got to do. And damn it. Mom, I love you, but I gotta go. How many parents are raising their hands around the world right now? All hands should be going up. Children, let me flip the script. We come to you and we're like, hey, we want to go to the movies as a family. Get up and get dressed. Oh my God. What movie? What studio? What time? I have plans. You see, I said I was going to flip the script. It's the same script. So guess what, parents? Guess what, children? Y'all are headbutting. Y'all are headbutting. So parents, we're going to take the authoritative step up from the pedestal that our children have put themselves on. And we're going to make them feel like they're in control of this situation here. And then we're going to master manipulate them. That's how we gain control of our children and we regain the narrative. And then we kiss the Siris, Alexas, and Googles of the world goodbye. Algorithms are raising our children. AI is raising our children. But let me tell you what Google, Alexa, Siri, an artificial intelligence, is not gonna fucking fix the uphill battle that my daughter's about to face medically. Karma is real. And I watch it. I watch her destroy people every day. If what my daughter had ever said to me was true, like the things that I say about my mother, she wouldn't be getting this karmic backlash. She wouldn't. And yeah, I live in a metaphysical world where I heal people. I can do spells, I can bend time and bend space and give people more time or help them go out if that's what's positive for them. But I can't fuck with karma. So until she realizes that what she is saying is so wrong, I can't help her. And so all the opportunities that are being thrown at me and all the money that my family is going to accumulate over the next year, and that's just the start. I'm not going to be able to fix her. Because out of all of the diagnoses that I have, I don't have the one she's facing. That actually comes from her biological father's side of the family. His father's side of the family. Actually, his father faces the same, or faced, past tense, the same thing that she's facing. It doesn't have anything to do with me. But I guarantee she's blaming me. Out of all the 29 diagnoses I have, that's not one of them. That's one of his. So again, I'm being blamed for his abandonment issues. I'm being blamed because I chose to bring her into this world and not abort her. I am to blame because of actions that I took, reactions that I had to actions that were done to me by people and or science, i.e. cancer, twice, still dealing with it. I have lupus, fibromyalgia, mixed connective tissue disorder, multiple endocrine neoplasia, type 2B. I have a lot of things that I have gotten under control and my God keeps me intact with. When I do my blood work now, it literally shows that everything that I've been through, it's almost as if it never happened. My God tells me my doctor tells me all the time, my brother and myself, or my whole family, that she has treated, that we defy the whole thing that is science and medicine. I've never had to pay karmically for what I have said about my mother. And a lot of you are going to think that this is that karmic backlash. It's not. It's a tale as old as times. Mothers and daughters going to war at each other, especially in my family. My grandmother actually lived 7 minutes away from my wedding venue. And she did not go because my great-grandmother and family from Corpus, the Quintanillas, came to my wedding. And she was at such war with her mother. And both of them were so stubborn that in my wedding pictures, I don't have my momo. I had my grandma Carolina Quintanilla. I love my mama, and I wanted her there, but the tale is old as time. That's why they say daddy's daughters and mama's boys. Daddy girls and mama's boys. And she is a daddy's girl. And I love that because he's an amazing dad. He's an amazing father. And I don't care how much therapy douchebag biosperm donor ever gets. He'll never, ever hold a candle to the father and husband that is Paul de Leon. To my daughter, I am so fucking sorry that you think I'm the fakest person on the world. I don't know how you got there. I have no fucking idea. I so want to help you. And you know that I have the resources and the network to do it. And you're being stubborn. You're being so fucking stubborn. And I love that about you. We're both Aries. Clay's dad isn't here anymore. I've never faced what you're about to face. I don't want to give it energy, and I'm praying my fucking ass off. I didn't even sleep last night. I started fasting, and I'm going to continue to fast until this thing between us is over. I have to. Because I can't stop karma. I can't. While I have been that bitch that has been able to survive everything in life, my audience will tell you the number 2 things that I have failed in life that I am so accountable for is being a wife and being a mom. I fucked it up. And I am tired of apologizing for it. Since Papa died, all I've done is tried to find myself. And I did through talking to other people that are going through the same shit. I don't believe in forgiveness. All my platforms and subscribers and fans and followers know that. I'm an advocate for health and healing. So this is my olive branch. I can't tell you that your feelings are not valid. I can't. And in the same respect, you can't tell me that my feelings are not valid. I'm willing to waive. No, I'm not willing. I am. Yolanda tells me to correct myself, so I do. I'm waving my white flag. We don't ever have to talk about any of this ever again. I don't care. I really, truly don't. They're just words. And I'm not doing this for any attention. I'm doing this for the parents that I signed up for and the audience that I signed up for. that wants to know how to reach their children. I don't know how to verbalize it. I only know how to do it. So here I am at work. This is my job. This is paying the bills, helping pay the bills. Daddy and I work together. We have a future together planned. Nothing is ever going to break that. Nothing is ever going to break our bond as a family, ever. This is my job. I signed up to do this. And I'm sorry that you feel I'm not your mother, but I am. And you can't stop that. I don't care that you compare me to my mom, because I know that that's not true. That's not my cross to bear. Notice I stopped crying because I have absolutely zero emotion about that subject, because I've healed from that. I don't have any emotion about your biological father. I don't. I'm having a little bit of emotion about his father, though, right now, because when your tests come back, I'm trying everything to switch him. I'm trying my fucking damnedest to fucking switch him. I know that y'all don't like that I'm different spiritually. There's not a spell that I could do in the world to fix what Daddy told me yesterday. There's not. And I know that this is karma coming back to you. This is my quote-unquote spell to undo what I actually do care about. That's you. And once again, I get blamed. I need you to know that out of all of the diagnoses I've had, and I've prayed and begged and bartered with God never to curse you. Because of my age, I have to do the colonoscopy, endoscopy things all the time. That's not one of the things that I struggle with. I don't carry that gene. So I can't help you. I can't understand what you're going through. I can't understand the level of anxiety that you have. I understand the physicality of the symptoms and craziness that goes along with not having answers and not knowing. I'm waving my life. I don't care about anything but you. I don't care about anything you've said. I don't. I don't know how to do life without you. I don't. It literally takes the breath away from me. I have fought my entire life, and you know where I'm going. I can't talk about it because of non-disclosure agreements. And I fought to get where I'm going because I want to prove that I am the ultimate you-know-what. And you've always been my why. The show that I'm going on takes a lot of fucking strategy, manipulation. You gotta lie, steal. You gotta do these certain things to get through what I'm about to go through. I've been doing that my whole life. Because it was just you and I, kid. It was just you and me. And I'm so sorry that you feel different. But that's not my cross to bear. So I can't have an emotion about that. Because I survived it. Just like I've done everything else in life. The things that you said to me don't affect me because they're not true to me. I can't say that they're not true to you. What I am saying is they're not true to me. And I'm not going to speak for anybody else in this house. I'm speaking to you, mother to daughter. I tried to protect you from everything that I went through and still go through. I came home to a bunch of mail. It's time to go get my brain scanned again. It's time to go get my thyroid scanned again. I have to get a biopsy on my liver. I have to go get the masses in my breast checked out. All these different things that I still deal with. But this, I hate to break it to you. An old, cranky, racist son of a bitch, cocksucking, racist son of a bitch, named Dan McKinney, walked this earth once upon a time. His family was cursed with that genetic disposition. Not Granny. I love her to pieces. And I love that I didn't curse you with my last name. I would never do that. I never thought in a million years, carrying any of y'all, that I would ever be in the position that I am in right now. But life is a game, much like the one I'm about to go on. You have to strategize, you have to have the politics, you have to know when to bend them and when to fold them. You have to know how to read people. That's what I do for a living. But this, baby girl, this is so different. To all the parents out there trying to figure out how to get your kids to talk to you, and then you just give up and you take your lives. I've been there. Recently, in February, I had it planned. The show that I'm going on, I have the opportunity to be a millionaire. The chances of me winning are extremely high because of what I've been through in my life. And my partner is amazing. So, yeah, I think we're going to do great. But if I was going through this situation, or I heard about this situation while I was doing this race, even as the show host would hand me $1 million check, if I had an AirPod in and got the news that I got last night, I would rip the check in half, throw it on the ground, and run to the nearest exit in Madison Square Gardens. I would go to LaGuardia Airport and book the next flight to Virginia. I wouldn't have even come home. I would have grabbed my husband and said, fuck this, we're going. I would have gone and yanked you by your hair if I had to. I know you want to physically punch the shit out of me. Maybe I'll let you. If it'll make you feel better, I'll let you. I don't care. You've been punching me since the day you learned how to talk. I can take your punch. You've mastered that. You begged me. To find a way to meet his parents. It wasn't easy at all. I almost died out there. And all I could think about is, we have to get there. She needs this. Daddy was laid off. Why does this matter? Because behind every decision that me and Daddy make, please believe I'm the one pushing. I believe y'all all know that. I almost died so many times out there, and the only person who knew was Daddy. The carbon monoxide poisoning and all that shit came later. We land. We're happy. We're taking pictures. I'm right now looking at the picture of us being goofy in the gas station parking lot. Junior was in that accident that night. What was the first thing I said? I gotta go. I'll be back, but I gotta go. But because of COVID, they told me, no, you have to stay. I did the best thing I could to be in the moment with all of you. And there's not one fucking picture or video where you could say that I did anything wrong. And I even went back and said to everybody personally, if I offended you with anything that I said or did, I'm so sorry. Not one person had anything to say about me. Everybody knew what the fuck I was going through and what I had to come home to. That is my firstborn son, basically. I raised him. Before it was you and I, it was him and I. And yeah, he's hated me a lot in his life, but look where it got him. That's called karma. When you do people dirty and you are wrong, it comes back to bite you in the ass. I'm never going to stop loving you. I don't know how. I never thought I would ever love somebody again. Until you shot out like the shooting star that you are. And even though you look like an ugly alien when you were born, and I didn't want you, I was like, ew, get her off of me, fix her head. When they brought you back to me, you were the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And you still are. And out of everything, the universe threw it, both of us. Look at where you are now. You can't say that that's not because of me, even though you left because of negative reasons. Look at the silver fucking lining. I do. I'm so fucking proud of you. This month has not been easy. When I think about the grand scheme of things, I can't imagine not knowing my grandchildren. You'd have to take me to court because I would take you to court. That's facts. I fight for my blood. You know that. And I'm fixing to have more means than you and him will ever have. Don't ever threaten to take my family away from me. Because what you're facing right now, the universe can make a lot worse, and I'm not threatening you. That's just what I deal with on my work on a daily basis. And I just had to tell a lady yesterday who's having a similar problem with one of her kids. I had to cry just like I am right now and tell her, I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. I have to tap in and do things to be spiritual for a specific person. Psychics do not know the answers. I'd be a billionaire tonight. You don't think that we play lotto? It's personal gain. But my family actually needs the money. We don't want it, we need it. That's why I play. I've lived my life by that motto. I want things. I want a fucking Alfa Romero. I actually don't want a really big house. I just want a place where my family can call fucking home. I don't want massive things. Right now, I'd take a fucking Pinto just to have a second car to get the fuck out of my house. I'm a prisoner. My brother is a prisoner. My children are prisoners. They're out for summer break and we have one fucking car because he wrecked all the rest of them and they're totaled. And because of all of my medical bills, I literally paid my lifetime out of pocket by the time I was 36 years old. $500,000 have come out of my and my husband's pockets to pay to keep me alive. And here I am, healthier and stronger and wiser than I've ever been. I fixed the physical. Now I'm fixing the mental. This ball is it's never going to fall. It's not an act. I have never been fake with any of my kids. You know that. I cannot stand fake people. And unfortunately, my dear sweet baby girl, you've been lying to me since Virginia for your own personal gain because you thought it would make him propose sooner. I'm not being an asshole on purpose, but I just want to make a point. Where's the ring? When you do shit in life, parents and kids, for personal gain, it doesn't work out. When you fakely have a relationship with somebody and you verbally tell them and hug them and say that we're going to move forward, and you fake holiday vacations, and you fake weddings, you even had your sister fooled. That's the saddest part, because she fucking looks up to you. Notice how my voice changes with different topics. I'm never gonna forget what you said, because scientifically I just can't. I have detached the emotions that I have for what you said because that's not my burden to bear. That's yours. You gotta go figure your own shit out. Just like I have. You have to put in the work. People, you have to put in the work. Parents have to put in the work. Kids have to put in the work. Communication works both ways. Parents, the further your kid pulls you away, you find yourself a podcast. You don't have to be signed with iHeartRadio to talk to the universe anymore. Kids are using technology against us. Use it against them. I don't have a way to reach my daughter right now, so guess what? I'm using my work. I'm working right now. This is a live radio show. And if this doesn't work, then I'll find out where she works and see if there's a window, and I will stalk her and find out where she's going to be at a certain time, and I'll do a Travis Barker and get an airplane to fucking fly a banner over that shoots fucking $100 bills out of my ass. Because that's all she's ever fucking cared about is money. I will never be him. I will never pay you to love me. Never. I won't pay anybody to love me. I love myself enough for everybody now. You can't touch that. That's called healing. And I won't allow you to take that from me. But what I am willing to do is to continue to do what I've always done. I stand up for you. I fight for you. I fight for this family. I have survived everything for y'all. When I died on that fucking operating table, the first surgery on my stomach, I died 6 times that day. We never told you. Daddy knew. I purposely set that surgical date on the 1-year anniversary of Papa's passing on purpose. Because in a sick, twisted way, I wanted to take his place. I knew I was going to die. We knew the probability of my lupus flaring up and blocking them from doing that surgery. But I told him if he didn't do it, I was going to come home and kill myself. I am being so fucking real to you and everyone else listening. Your face always pops into my head first, and it always will. I don't ever see myself in your heart or your soul. Never have. That part hurts. The things that you have said in the recent years since Papa's passing, and you're moving, and I want you to know that those insecurities, that the anxiety, the living in the different space, what happened to you when you got there, being all alone and being scared to go places, and all these different things that you've experienced that you blame me for. That's not my problem. That's yours. And I hope that you find peace with that one day. I hope that you find healing. I truly do. Because I've never been happier in my life. And I love that I get to do what I do every single day. And now I'm getting to take it on the road. Are you kidding me? And now y'all say, oh, we don't want to be a part of that life. Please believe y'all will want to spend my fucking money and go on my vacations. I've never told y'all anything about how greedy, spoiled, and entitled y'all are. But it's not just y'all. It's all kids. All kids. I've never abandoned you. Never. You abandoned me all the time. I made the executive decision to allow you to be a McKinney and to go and introduce you to them. Don't you ever fucking forget that. I threw a dagger in my own heart. I fell on the sword for you. He had already signed his rights away. I legally never had to introduce you to them, ever. They could have had the best they could have had OJ's attorneys. Bringing Rob Kardashian back from the dead via voodoo. Nobody in the fucking world had that decision but me. But you'd say that that was selfish too. It wasn't. It wasn't a question when they asked me to fill out your birth certificate what your last name was going to be. My whole family betrayed me because of that. I didn't want that for you, and I still don't. And guess what? Karma got every single one of my family members. I have nobody. None. I have you. I have your sister, your brother, my brother, and Daddy, and our 2 dogs. That's it. I have no aunts. I have no uncles. You already know the cousin situation. I have no fucking immediate family other than the family that Daddy and I have created. And you know what? We have done a fucking amazing job with what we had. And we're still doing it. And we will continue to do it. I can't make you change your manipulative and fucked up things and mannerisms that you do to get through life. But I just want to point out that you've been doing it since you were 6 years old. Going back to the bikini with Uncle BJ. Yeah. You have been manipulating people since you were a child. And that is because for the first 3 years of your life, you were raised by my mother and my sister. 2 of the most hypocritical and controversially prejudicial and manipulative people I've ever met in my life. So no. I'm not mad that you called me Meemaw. Or that you said that I was worse than her. Because insecurities, if you're going to therapy, your therapist will tell you, oh, your mom is just doing that because it's insecurities that she has about her. When she looks at you, she probably sees your dad. You don't think I know what therapists are telling you? Hello, I am a fucking LPC. Now, just finished last semester. You don't think I know how therapists work by deductive reasoning? You don't think I know that you're in there telling her the same sad stories that you're out here telling the world and me? The fucked up thing about medicine, especially therapy, is it only works if you tell all your symptoms. They can only help you if they know the whole picture. They actually say that. I can't help you unless you tell me the whole picture, the whole story. For people who put on there, do you drink alcohol? No, and they're got a 6-pack in the back seat of the car. Have you ever done drugs? No. Then they go take said 6-pack and head to the plug's house. We can't treat you if we don't know all the story. We have to have all the parts. And you don't think I know you better than you know yourself? You don't think I know that you're in there talking shit about me? I don't care because it's not my problems. It's yours. I'm in therapy and I'm doing great. I'm 5 years in. This is not an act. Not that my life was ever one. It was a fucking circus. A bad one. But it wasn't yours. You weren't a character in that circus, and you need to stop saying that you were. And you need to stop throwing around the words defamation, because I'm an actual public figure. My lawyers run my social media post, not me. My PR group, that is. I send them what I video, and they decide what and when and where to post. I don't have control of my social media anymore, and I won't for the rest of my life. I have a PR team that does that now. I have 18 other platforms that I could easily sign into and see what the hell you're posting about me, but I don't have to because people screenshot your subtexted bullshit. Because that's what it is. Subtweet, whatever. I don't care about any of it. I don't. I have been strategizing in the game that is the island of Madison, and can you survive it? Yeah, I said your name. Sorry. Not sorry at all. I will never give up on you. I've never quit a fucking thing in my life. And you're not going to force me out. Every wall you put up, I will fucking break it down. Parents, this is how you deal with your children. This is real life. This is what I signed up for. I just signed up for a reality show based off of my actual life behind this fucking screen and microphone. I get 4 hours a day to talk to y'all. I don't have that kind of time in my life, but here we are doing this long ass shoot. I have only got up once to take a break. I have 5 minutes. Okay, I had to put my glasses back on. Now we're down to 4. I never abandoned you, he did. And now, because of all the shit that you've talked with him, his mom, Richard, everybody, all of you, John's family, everybody, all these lies that you've spread about me, I can't fix that. You're going to have to pray a lot about your heart and your soul and the things that you're saying and doing about me. But I want you to know. I love you. And that's never going to change. And I think it's really sad what you're going through. It fucking rips my heart out more than anything you've ever done to me. And I'm not mad at God. It makes me angry. Not at baby daddy number one, but with his fucking piece of shit father. Dan McKinney was an evil, evil person. And it looks like, unfortunately, that genetic disposition has been passed down to you. And I can't fix that. You can, though. Parents, children, when you do bad shit in life, and you're always like, oh, that's karma biting me in the ass. It happens, and it's real. And she doesn't play around. There's nothing that anybody can do to change when karma comes to town. And she's been here working on people like crazy. She's coming back. Actually, we just came out of the new moon. If anybody wants to start making their negatives positives, this is the time you do it. You start trying to going on your apology tours, making amends. You do that between the new moon and the full moon. During the full moon, you release all that negative energy. And you truly start over. My mother, I've given her plenty of chances against my own rules of life. The way I've survived my entire life up until this point. I only make mistakes once. And if you burn me, karma's going to get you. But I will never look at you the same. I'm done with you. There's nothing you can do to change my mind, ever. And so I just won't even kick it with you. If you make it, if you pass my first 30-second interview, and I say, oh, this person's cool, I want to talk to them. And then we become friends, and later on you fuck me over, and we've been friends for like 20 years, and we got intertwinements of families and all this other stuff. I don't give a fuck. When you fuck me over, I'm done. That will never happen with me and my children. You'll never hear those words come out of my mouth in regards to deserting my children at this time and going forward. Yes, I have said I was going to go somewhere, but these moronic kids were just that. They were young, dumb, and retarded. And hello, I couldn't move. I had to have special custom shoes made to even stand up to walk to the fucking commode. Where did y'all think I was going? Yes, my intentions have always been good. I never wanted to beat the fuck out of anybody. I wanted y'all to be kids because I never got to fucking be one. I gave you everything you wanted when we didn't have money. We took loans out from other people's families to save Draven's life. This is what the fuck I do. Because I'm a parent, damn it. You will always be the child. Always. And you have never been respectful to me. And yeah, I feel some type of way about respect because I fucking earned it. And since you think you're high, mighty, and religious, let me tell you, Shaw, and everybody else in the fucking world that gets on to me the way I talk to my kids. This is not aggression. This is passion. And parents, if you don't have the passion to save your kids more than you want the air to, than you need air to sustain life, you should have gave them up for adoption and gave them to a really good fucking family because you don't have what it takes to fucking play this game. If you do not want to fight for your kids to the death, more than you need oxygen to breathe, give your kids to somebody who will. Because they're gonna throw it in your motherfucking face anyways. And you don't have what it takes to play this game. Because yes, due to the internet and the instant access, we are outnumbered. That is correct. So you fight harder. You don't give up. You don't run and hide. You set buildings on fire. You shake your kid's soul to the fucking core. But you never, ever give up. I don't understand that mentality. That is what makes me a survivor. In life, in death, in parenting. That is what makes me different from all of the people that I have as clients. If they're having these issues, then guess what? All of you are. So yeah, they gave me a platform to speak to parents and children, to bridge the gap of communication. Kids, you have to understand, you're always going to be the children. That's it. And let me tell you what, motherfuckers. We demand and deserve motherfucking respect. We have fucking titles. I hate that my youngest calls my brother Junior. His title is Uncle. They don't call me by my first name. I would knock their teeth out. Go ahead, call the cops. I'm on the roof in my fucking socks. Shout out to Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah, my daughter says, oh my God, you get on there and you talk about beating up people and knocking their teeth down their throat. You know you can go to jail for that. Go ahead, call the cops. I'm on the roof in my fucking socks. I don't give a fuck. When have I ever knocked somebody's teeth down their throat? It's a fucking figure of speech. Pull your goddamn wedgie out your dungarees and get out here and start playing life or get the fuck off the island. What are you doing, children? What are you doing? You're spinning around like Tasmanian devils, making landmines all over the place, setting up all these explosions. And then when shit gets real, you come what? Running back to us? Guess what? If you were our friends, we'd tell you to eat a bag of dicks and call the cops to get you off the fucking property. Parents, they're not our friends. They're not our extended family. They're our immediate family that we gave life to. What's that old saying? I gave you life, and I'll damn sure take it. And I will. I will Johnny Depp anyone in my family's ass. I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna make me out to be the monster because I'm fucking not. Not anymore. You're in his version of me is so fucking skewed, it's sick. It's fucking grotesque. Since he loves Marilyn Manson so much, I'll use his Brian Warner terms. Shout out Marilyn Manson. It's grotesque, and y'all live in a place called vaudeville. Y'all are fucking delusional. But you know what? I don't have to worry about him anymore, because he doesn't fucking exist in my world, but you do. I don't give a fuck how many times you block me. I don't give a fuck how many times you fucking stalk me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not the person that you make me out to be. I never have been and I never will be. The sins that I have placed upon this family and the burdens that I have placed upon this family, I have not only atoned to all of you, but I am helping parents that have done the same things that I have done and worse, learn how to fix, mend, and move on and heal. So while you're thinking that I'm running around and this is just another thing that I do, you're so fucking wrong. And it's fucking grotesque. Both of you. He thinks I'm the same 15-year-old that was obsessed with him and broke his arm in the car. He's fucking retarded. I don't give a fuck. Both of y'all are dumb because you forget that I'm fucking psychic and I get visions and dreams and I know when people are talking about me because my ears ring. Oh yeah, she used to send pictures of people asking, Mom, can you read this person? Tell me if I should be friends with them or not. Same thing I get paid for. That's what celebrities pay me for. Just to walk beside them and tell them how to do life. We can't give up. Not as parents. We can give up on everyone else, but we cannot give up as parents to our children. We just can't. My mom gave up on all of us the minute we came out of her fucking cunt. She doesn't have a maternal bone in her body. She doesn't have a humanitarian bone in her body. She kills people for a living. Yes, she's under investigation, so I don't need anybody to put that in the chat. 1 minute left. To my daughter, I have waved my white flag. And notice that my demeanor has changed because I stand firm. My boundaries are not going to change. I am transforming into the person that people are listening to today, every day. You can ask your sister, you can ask your brother. I'm sure Daddy tells you all the time. And I know you think you're living your best life, but how'd that doctor visit go for you? I don't say that to be rude. I'm saying it because you need to recognize what is going on around you. You need to look at the bigger fucking picture. It's not ironic that I'm not the one that you're sitting there with a genetic mutation from. He's still here causing problems in your life, and I'm still going to be the whipping post. I'll let you whip me until it makes you feel better. As long as it means that I get to have you in my life, I don't care. Parents, you have to be willing to fight for your kids more than you need air to fucking breathe. So start fighting.